some highlights that I need to address because I want that out there. But yeah.
Here we go. Let's just try this. Round 2.
Hey now.
Hey, welcome to Smokin Tabacco. We've talked about a few things. Here's quarantine grilling's back there. Oh, it's gone again. Welcome back. Welcome to Smokin Tabacco. Here we are. We've talked about a few things, but this is the beginning of the show we'll have on YouTube. We've talked about NASCAR. Don't be racist. There you go. That one's settled. Be a good person. And we're going to talk about all the action still left. I mean, we got soap reviews coming up here. A little seasonal Porto soap. We're talking about the baseball season that's coming back. All sorts of good stuff happening. We've got the replay of my announcement of my staying. So it's good stuff going on here. You're smoking the Aladino Reserva, and I'm smoking LFD El Jaco. So it's like nothing ever happened, you know? Corojo.
Smoking the Corojo Reserva. Couple of quick announcements for those on YouTube. 2 things next week. We're going to have Christian Eiroa from CLE Cigars, as well as Jim Price from CLE Cigars join us next week. And for those of you who don't know, or those of you who are interested, I know a lot of people have been asking, the store is open on smokintabacco.com. You head to smokintabacco.com/store. There you can find all of the beautiful swag that John is currently wearing right now. Hats and shirts. We have a new shirt design coming out in the next few weeks. Not going to give anything away. It's going to be a little bit of a surprise, but it's different from the standard shirt. It's going to have its own saying and whatnot. It's going to be pretty cool. I've gotten a lot of buzz about it from people who do know. So keep an eye out for that as well. Sign up for our mailing list. Make sure you like and subscribe. All that fun stuff. I want to give another congratulations to Christina Harrison, who won the Smokin Tabacco giveaway on Instagram and Facebook this week. So congrats to her. And for those of you who lost or you're just hearing about it now, there will be another Smokin Tabacco giveaway. That will be announced probably sometime this weekend and run into next week. So keep an eye out for that. I always put some pretty cool stuff in those giveaways. And, you know, just one thing I will say about the giveaways, just follow the rules. Make sure you like, subscribe, sign up for the newsletter, you know, all that fun stuff. And make sure you read. You can't just like the photo. So you have
participate.
You have to participate. It's part of the fun. That's why we do it, you know. So if you didn't win, you're like, what the hell? Well, if you just liked the photo, then that's why you didn't win. So among other reasons. But yeah, I just wanted to give that out really quick. John has a bar of soap that I gave him a few months ago, because for those of you who don't know, if you're not friends with John Carney on Facebook, I know a lot of you guys are non-industry people who might be watching, so you might not really know who John Carney is. He is a senior vice president with a major cigar company, La Flor Dominicana. And he, during the quarantine, the early stage of quarantine, he fled the south of Florida in Miami to retreat to his cabin in the woods in Maine. And at that time, he was traveling from airport to airport, and he was trying all the soaps and all the bathrooms. And I believe it was 4 airports he went through, and he did this. And he put videos on his personal Facebook page. And we all got to see John go through the airports and try all the soap. So I had sent him as a gift a bar of soap, because I just was like, I'm going to send him a soap and just see what happens. And he's had it since March. And so now it looks like we're actually going to see John do an official John Carney soap review, which is a Smokin Tabacco exclusive segment now. So we'll see where that goes. They're going to have to get more soaps for you to review.
So here we are. We're in it. I've got a few here to try, but this one's the most important. This is one you sent to me personally. There's a couple things I'm excited about here. One, just to let everybody know about the setup here. This won't be the same setup every week, but I've had a bucket of water sitting outside today. It's an ice bin that I put some ice in, but the water's been in there. So I've got filtered spring water. It's been in this bin, and it's I'd say it's about 85 degrees in that water, maybe. So I got this bin of water here. We're going to use that. But there's a couple things I'm excited about. I've been smelling this soap for a while. This is a holiday soap. So we have Castabel, Castelbel, Porto. Castabel Porto, Woodland Pine Forest. This is a holiday soap. So it does have that even the packaging here. See, nice white packaging. We've got the stag on there with the holiday balls on its antlers and a green Santa Claus hat. So this obviously is going to be a seasonal soap. So yeah, so I've been smelling this for about 3.5 months now. So it's very strong pine. So I'm excited. I'm excited to, one, get it open and see how strong it truly is. And two, I'm also really excited to see the color of the bar. It says Porto, so maybe it's red. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. But yeah, we're going to do a live soap review here. It's the first one in a while, so welcome. And we will make this as a Smokin Tabacco segment. So I've got plenty of soap. So we got this bucket of water here. I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to wet my hands first. After I open the soap. So we'll open the soap, analyze it, look at it, then I'll wet my hands and I'll test a few things. There'll be a few categories we work on here. One will be the lathering stage of how much lather does it create. We'll analyze the suds, we'll analyze the bubbles. There's some foam soaps that have some different textures to it. We'll analyze the texture. We're going to talk about the scent. The scent's important. And we're also going to talk about the hand feel. The hand feel is very important. And then I'll rinse in the bucket. And then after I rinse, we're going to talk about the hand feel after, the residual scents. And then we'll talk about things. There's no real huge system to this, but there'll be some inconsistent systems. One bar of soap, everybody knows the rules. Here we go. So let's open this up. So
Are you quoting Dave Portnoy over there? Are you paraphrasing Dave?
I don't know if that's copyrighted yet or not, but I might have. So we got Castelbel Porto. Here we go. We're opening it up. Nice packaging.
A white bar.
I'm gonna have to rip it open a little bit here. It's got this. It's essentially like a parchment paper packaging, and we have like a little wax paper on the inside. So there's the packaging. Very, very strong pine scent when opened. And it is a white bar. I was kind of hoping it'd be red because it said Porto, but that's fine. One unique thing, they do have the brand name of the soap. It's a big, hefty bar. I mean, it's got some weight to it. So I'd say it's at least a half a pound. But it does say Castle Bay right on there. I don't know if you can see it, but it does say Castle Bell. I still don't know how to pronounce it. C-A-S-T-E.
John cannot read very well.
E-L, Castle Bell Porto. So yeah, nice white bar. The texture on it's waxy. So we got a little waxy to it. When I use my fingernail across it, it doesn't come apart too easily. It's not flaking. So it's just interesting.
Solid bar soap.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very solid bar soap. So we're gonna wet my hands here. So we're gonna get it wet. One thing I like to do with a bar soap is I'm also gonna dip a little bit of the bar soap. I'm not gonna dip it in the water because I want to taint the water right now. But I am gonna put a little bit of water on the bar of soap to get it a little bit moist. So here we go. I'm gonna rub it in.
Here's a question: did you get something to dry your hands off with?
No, I haven't done that yet. But we'll see what's around us. So that's not a concern. One thing I do like to do is I like to hit it up on the wrist. We want to be cleanly. We want to make sure we got COVID-19 going on here, so it's important to wash your hands. It's also important not to just put the soap on for a short period of time. I'm gonna really spread it around here and get some good coverage with the bar, and then I'm gonna lather it up a little. So I'll be honest. This is what I'm doing right now. When I say I'm going to be honest, is because it's important. Honesty is important when it comes to soap reviews. I'm getting a good coating here, and now we're gonna start lathering up a little. So I'm lathering. I'm getting good coverage, but it's kind of like the coverage you get from a hand cream. Like right now, I feel like I'm putting on a hand cream. It's greasy. It is greasy. So we got a little bit of grease to it. Lots of aromatics. Lots of pine. There's a lot of.
It's very appropriate considering the locale that you are currently residing in.
But you can see it's good coverage, but it does look like a cream. It looks like a wet hand cream kind of. So there we go. We must be about 30 seconds here. The more I scrub, the more coverage it gets, and the more intensity of color. You see a little pale color, but there are no suds. There's very There's no suds whatsoever. No suds, no nothing. So this is very different than the last review I did, which was in the Atlanta airport. Was a lot of suds. So we scrubbed it up a little bit. A good coating. It's drying somewhat quickly. It's dry out this evening. So we're going to dip back in here for the rinse stage. Do a little rinsing in there. Oh, here we go. Once I got the water on there, we're getting a lot of suds. Big bubbles too. Big bubbles. We got some big bubbles going on here.
There you just weren't wet enough.
Wow, this is good. Yeah, that's what she said. But yeah, no, this is good. The coverage on it's good. Now, to me, this is a traditional holiday soap. Traditional holiday soaps are big on scent, big on oils. That scent comes from those natural oils that they have. So this is a very traditional holiday soap. Again, I just can't get the suds off. There's just way too much going on here. But a very traditional holiday soap. Over the top, lots of flavor, lots of scent, lots of oil. Yeah, I was going to say flavor, but lots of oil, slippery, very slippery. Like I feel, I'm going to dump some water here to clean it off. I mean, I feel like there's definitely been something on my hands. It's not a drying effect. A lot of soaps you use, especially in airports and public places, have a very drying effect to it. This one, I'm having a very hard time getting the oil off my hands. It's slippery right now. I don't know if I'm going to make it through. We're dumping some water here. The water's gone. The smell is not overpowering. The cleanliness side is good. I did have some grease and I had some charcoal stains on my hands from cooking earlier. I got rid of them, but it's very slippery. My hands are still very slippery. I'm going to go get some towels here. We'll see how it dries. Here we go. We got the towel. So I'm drying off. So again, for me, a traditional holiday soap or a gift soap, for example, has that oil texture to it. Now, the scent, as soon as I dried off, this is one thing I was concerned about because there's a very strong flavor. I thought the scent was going to linger on my hands. It hasn't lingered. It's almost a neutral, clean. It's a very clean scent to it. So the soap ratings here, man, we're going to rate on a scale of 5, which is what I've done. Oh, man, I haven't done a bar soap. So this sets the standard. I'm going to go 3.9 out of 5, 3.9 on the Castle Bell Porto Holiday Soap.
It's a good score.
Yeah, it is a good score. And I'm very impressed with the fact that the grease stuck around there. So I was afraid that when I dried off, that I was going to have that residual grease and that residual scent, which sometimes it's okay. But when I wash my hands, I want them to be clean. I want to take it back to a neutral state. And I think the combination of the Pioneer really did bring it back to a neutral state. So yeah, 3.9 out of 5. The Castle Bell soap that's a success. For me, that's a success. And I highly recommend it. If you find it, great. But I'm assuming this is a holiday brand and a gift soap. But yeah, Castle Bell, the bar itself is dried off quite well here. It absorbed the moisture well. So yeah, 3.9 out of 5 on the Castle Bell soap. We'll have some more coming up, but very impressive. It performed differently than I was expecting.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the soap. I mean, I've been waiting for you to review this for quite some time, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you gave it a good score. Kind of different than what we normally do on the Smokin Tabacco show. It's obviously something that you were doing personally, and I think now it's going to become a segment. So I guess you're going to have a soap ready for next week. I don't know.
Yeah, and by the way, we need to get a section on the website where there's a short written soap review, and I'll take pictures and things before. Obviously, it's the first time we did it, but I think this is something we should chronicle, and it's something that's fitting for the times and fitting for all times. But no, I mean, I'm telling you, man, my hands feel great.
So hold on. So let's back up for a sec. I know you love the soap, but this is the first I'm hearing it. Are you actually asking for a John Carney soap review section on SmokinTabacco.com?
Yeah, I know. I don't want to, be outstepping my boundaries, but I think that's an important thing to have.
If that's something that you want and you will contribute to, I know it's not. I want to have to pick up the slack on.
No.
We can arrange this. We can arrange this.
No, I think it's important. I said I was kind of inspired because of the performance of the soap. Like my hand doesn't feel dry, but it doesn't feel greasy at the same time. It's got a little shine to it. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
That's a great soap, man. I'll be honest. I had incredibly, incredibly low expectations for
I
this
can see
soap.
you're getting more excited about this as you
Yeah,
continue.
yeah. And this
Now,
is for me what the soap review was about. I just did it as a joke originally, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is something I'm actually very passionate about, and that feel and that experience is something that we need to spend more time paying attention to, because it's just something we just do, and well, a lot of people don't do it. I trust me, most of y'all don't wash your hands. I travel the whole country and I see more people not wash their hands than do. But when I started washing, it's like, you know what? If we enjoyed washing our hands and there was something fun and intrinsic about washing your hands, it'd be great. And when I started doing soap reviews, I was like, man, I kind of actually like this. And again, it is funny, it is a joke, but it's
yeah.
also at the same time, I actually am excited about it. This soap was good. I think the reason I did 3.9 out of 4 is because I got to rate other bars of soap going forward. So if I went right to the top, I went like 4 something, high 4s or whatever, it would be challenging. We've had that talk about cigar reviews. If you give a cigar 100, that's going to be the best cigar you ever smoked, and everything's gauged against it. And then if you ever smoke something better than it, you can't get better than 100. So yeah, I'm 3.9 out of 5 on that. I'm going to stick by the score. I like it. The hand feels good. The one thing that I will take from this score is I'm going to probably be very critical of soaps, because this was a very shockingly good experience, especially, I'll create different categories too, but from a gift soap / holiday soap, great experience.
Well, maybe a new tab is going to have to be created on the website for the show. Regardless, it's kind of part of, if you missed the announcement, we're going to be kind of ramping up the show a little bit. We're going to be kind of ramping up the production quality. We're going to be getting out on the podcast channel, so there will be a section for the show on smokintabacco.com for information about us and just kind of, just information and stuff we got going on, and, links to where you can find our other episodes on the YouTube channel. So I guess somewhere in the Smokin Tabacco show section of the website, we're going to have John Carney's soaps for the week. And you're going to be responsible for writing a soap review every week and putting it on the website.
It's going to be tough. There's a lot of soap out there, and I will tell people we're open. I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to recommendations. There's no soap I'm not willing to try. There's no corner of the country I'm not willing to travel for a great soap. I still say the soap in the D terminal in LaGuardia, sorry, not LaGuardia, in JFK is the best soap I've ever used. It's amazing. I would put that. I think I gave that like a 4.8 or a 4.9. So that's still the best soap I ever had, but I'll revisit that and we'll get those stuff published as I start traveling again. But like I said, starting out with a holiday soap again, I can't express how low my expectations were with the gift that you gave me. It wasn't a judgment of you personally. It was just I had low expectations about it. It was a holiday gift soap. Now using it, I might even bathe with this thing tonight.
Well, I was going to say, now that you've had it on your hands, imagine how good that'll be in a hot shower.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful.
So many areas that you could really clean up with that soap.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into detail, but you could really feel pretty clean after a day that you've had with that soap. By the way, I'm drinking some wine.
Yeah, what are you drinking tonight?
For anyone who's interested, I'm drinking some Conte Fini. I also can't read. I'm going to fucking butcher this. I'm like afraid to attempt. Valdadige. It's a Pinot Grigio. I've been getting into white wines the last week or so.
It looks Italian.
It is an Italian wine. It's a product of Italy. Great wine. Here it is right here. Got a whole case of this at my local liquor store. It was so good. We had a couple of bottles. I bought a whole case of it. So I think I'm 3 or 4 bottles into the case so far. So, and I got the case yesterday. So that's all you need to know.
Nice. I went down to Bangor, Maine yesterday, as I said earlier on the show, and I went to Cigar and Smoke Shop, and there's a great little wine store and cheese store there called Bangor Wine and Cheese. And I've been buying some wine and things from them. They do a great job. And since I graduated from the box wines a few weeks back, which was a great thing, I've been now drinking some better wines. And tonight, I said I'm drinking this Bedou Vineyards. It was on a wine seminar and wealth management Zoom meeting I was on earlier, which was awesome experience. I was invited onto that. So it was great to be there. But yeah, BV, good stuff, and was awesome. I bought a few bottles of that after the show. I got this deer over here. It's off to the side. This is from the sober. This guy's staring at me. It's like he's ticked off. Like he looks like he's upset. Man, you got a 3.9, bro. Just relax.
Well, I mean, not for nothing, but you crumpled the shit out of them. So
I did. So I think this is good timing for those that missed the show last week. We were talking. I was going to be exiting the show. I said I don't want to break the lines between media and manufacturing, whatever. And not that you're not media, but I think this is if I was going to be part of anything, this is a great thing to be a part of. And obviously, you and I've created a great friendship over the quarantine and the pandemic. But this is an announcement that I made last week for those that, I was worried. I was like, I'm going to be leaving. This was supposed to be my last show. And last week I decided it wasn't. And this was my statement to those people that wanted to see me go. And here it is.
I'm so glad we get to experience this all over again. Hopefully this time, unlike the first time you did this, we actually get the sound right away.
We will.
No video. Oh, there it is.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving! The show goes on! This is my home! They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here!
So I ain't leaving. The show goes on. And so this will be fun, and we're in overtime now, which is great. And so welcome to overtime. What we got for overtime today?
Well, we already covered most of our main topics in the regular part of the show. I'm getting to the end of my Corojo Reserva. One of the things we haven't really done a lot of is really talk a little bit more in depth about some of the stuff we've been smoking on the show, and especially as we get into it, how it changes and whatnot, and not really give a full review like we would on some other shows. For example, like I myself am on the Ash Holes podcast, where we actually, that's what we do. We review cigars on the show. And we probably should do a little bit of it. I mean, we are cigar based, but as I get into the Corojo Reserva, it's a great cigar. Now it's different. It's Corojo, Honduran Corojo tobacco. So it's a lot different than what you've probably smoked. If you don't smoke a lot of Honduran tobacco, especially anything from the Eiroa farm. So there's a much different flavor to it. I like the Corojo. It's not something I smoke every day, but it's also not something I smoke once in a while. I will smoke these, on average at least a few times a month. These are pretty good. And the flavor on this is pretty robust. It's a good flavor. It's different. Like I said before, you can have a lot more of that pepperiness, like in the back of your throat, down in here, the back of your tongue. If you're into that kind of thing, it's very enjoyable. I like these. It actually pairs pretty well with the wine too. Some cigars that I've smoked while I've been drinking wine or whatnot, sometimes they just don't pair well. That cigar taste with the wine taste. This cigar with the wine has been a beautiful little marriage here. So I'm really enjoying this experience in particular. Now, having said that, if I was smoking, this isn't like me being like throwing a jab or anything. In all seriousness, if I was smoking, like, for example, LFD, for example, is predominantly known for their stronger cigars, like Lennox, Double Arrows, something like that. I don't usually like with a wine. I just find that the intensity of that flavor profile on those really fuller bodied cigars, for example, they just don't pair well with wine, at least on my palate. So, but something like this, it's full in flavor, but it's not as full or dark or as rich as some of those darker cigars would be with the wine. Getting towards the end here, I'm contemplating firing up another one. I do have some Perdomos in here, as well as the Davidoff Late Hour. I still have half a box in the cabinet. Great cigar. It burns pretty quick.
Great cigar.
I might like that one up because it is kind of quick. I do have the LFD Lennox right here. That's a fantastic cigar. It's one of my favorites. And I have some Perdomos with me. For those who missed the earlier part of the show, last week was a big Perdomo weekend for me. We had the Perdomo family in New England up here. They were doing events with Two Guys Smoke Shop in the New Hampshire area for the release of the Perdomo Firecracker cigar that came out, which is already sold out. If you didn't get it, there will be more later on in the year. You can head to twoguyscigars.com and check that out and get notified. But I do have the Perdomo Habano Sun-Grown and the Champagne Connecticut 10th anniversary right here. Fantastic. These are like my everyday smokes. I smoke Perdomo like almost every other day. Always have Perdomo on hand. Buy them by the box. Fantastic cigars. I think I'm going to light up the LFD. I'm sorry, not the LFD. The Davidoff Late Hour.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Smell on the foot, fantastic. Nice. Cinnamon. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to. Cinnamon French toast. That's what I get right there. Cinnamon French toast. Right off the foot.
Like the cinnamon toast crunch cereal, or like the actual toast itself?
No, like that French toast that my mother makes on Sunday morning with the cinnamon in it. It's cooked just right. A little bit of the sugar, cinnamon and sugar.
That's a very good cigar. It's one of my favorite Davidoffs. I'm a big Davidoff smoker as well. I got really into it with the Davidoff Nicaragua, but that late hour is lights out.
A little bit of spice on the cold draw too. Okay, I'm gonna light it up.
Man, that soap is strong. It's such a stronger. It's off to the side here. It's such a stronger scent on the actual bar than it is on my hands. I was hoping that.
Would you call it a full-bodied soap?
It's definitely a full-bodied soap. Very strong. Lots of essential oils in it, and I'm very happy the way that it came off my hands. And one of the things I hate about soaps and hand sanitizer, for that example too, is when you use it, if the scent doesn't evaporate. Because what you're just doing here is like, I'm smoking a cigar, I'm having a glass of wine. The last thing I want to smell is pine in my wine. The last thing I want to smell is pine on my cigar. I want to smell and I want to taste what you're experiencing right now. What do you take? What's going on? What's happening with you?
Just gotta touch this up a tad. Okay, a little different now that it's lit. Definitely fuller bodied. Some rich notes in there. Still getting that cinnamon. It's a little dry. The smoke flavor is a little dry. Still getting that cinnamon, but I'm not getting that sweetness that I got on the scent of the foot. Cinnamon, it's dry. I'm getting like a cashew.
Yeah, I got some nuttiness going on, huh?
That cashew nuttiness, a little bit of, it's not a Connecticut shade, but it has a little bit of that creamy cashew to it, cinnamon. So it got some spice, some nuttiness, definitely full. Wouldn't call it an overpowering spice, like a peppery spice or like an aggressive spice. I'd call it a moderate spice. See how it pairs well with my wine.
Wait, while we're on that, how good was our guest last week, Nick from Cigar Pulpit? Like, thank you to them for being on there, man. He was a cool guy and fun to hang out with. And
Nick's
was
a great
someone
friend.
familiar. He was awesome, man.
Nick's a good friend. He's for those of you guys who don't know, Nick Miller from the Cigar Pulpit. He is from the St. Louis area, I believe. Owns a newspaper. That's his. It's kind of his day thing. But then he got into cigars and he started his podcast last year. He's been a great friend. He's a good dude. You should check him out. Him and Gator. That's his co-host on the show. Unfortunately, we didn't get to meet Gator on the show, but maybe at a later date we can have them come back on. He can bring Gator with him. So, he was great. Good guest. A lot of fun. He took the jabs. He dished them out too. I have to give him credit. You know, he could really hang with us. So he wasn't shy or intimidated or anything like that. That was fun. That was really fun.
I mean, you put two guys from New England in a room with anybody, it's going to be a little bit challenging for someone. He rolled with the punches. I'm going to go grab another bottle of wine here. I'm going to grab a little bit more wine. I'll pay for it in the morning, but that'll be fine. So I'm going to go grab another bottle of wine. Hey, do you I mean, we got a few viewers here. Do you want an overtime here? Do we want to invite people in? that maybe want to come and hang out and talk about cigars with us? What we're
Uh,
drinking? I mean, we could do that. I don't know.
if someone is interested, they may contact one of us, and we can go from there. We could possibly have someone come in and join us on the show. We can maybe pick their brain, preferably someone who is smoking, so we can kind of see what they're smoking and ask them about it, and kind of get their opinion on a couple of cigar-related notes, as well as our general horseplay. At least I like to call what we do here, which is smoke cigars, but also shoot the shit, talk sports, talk about soap.
Yeah, man. By the way, I got that pile of I'm drenched everywhere, dumping that water. I got to find a better way to do these reviews. That was very rustic. But the next bottle I got here is Charlotte Louis Pinot Noir from Oregon, 2017 from Charlotte Louis Cellars, Cave Junction, Oregon. So Pinot Noir, kind of in the night a little bit. I had a nice heavy wine. I had filet mignon for dinner this evening. I had a whole tenderloin in from Meat and Bone in South Florida. I guess while I'm mentioning food's a great time to bring up what's going on in quarantine grilling next week. Quarantine grilling, it's the last show of Quarantine Grilling is the name. Quarantine Grilling is coming up on June 29th. It's the Independence Day episode. Quarantine Grilling will be retiring, and it will be being called something else. The name has decided. There's a contest being run. Quarantine Grilling's last episode's on Monday, June 29th, live on Facebook at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it will be called Quarantine Grilling, Episode 14, Threat Level Hot Dog. It'll be a hot dog episode. All three of the Quarantine Grillers, Fred Brewery, Brian McGee, and myself, Chef John Carney, will be cooking on this episode. That'll be announced tomorrow, but you heard it here first. Quarantine Grilling, Independence Day special, June 29th, Threat Level Hot Dog.
John.
And then
So sorry not to cut you off, but it's you know how it is when you get something good in your brain. It's killing me. I got to ask you.
Do it.
Is there going to be a cleanup on aisle 5? Yeah, only the real people will catch that reference. I think I see Nicole over there laughing.
So there may be. You never know. All sorts of crazy things happen. But yeah, Quarantine Grilling, June 29th. Also on July 4th, Independence Day, Quarantine Grilling. And it'll be probably live on Smokin Tabacco if you want to put it on there too. There'll be a live fireworks show that the Quarantine Grilling team is putting on, but at that time it'll be under the new name. But new name coming, the final episode of Quarantine Grilling before the name change, June 29th, Threat Level Hot Dog.
So, some of our viewers have probably seen us pitter-pattering about it. But sometime soon, there's been some talks that Mr. John Carney will come visit the tobacco estate and stay for a few days. And during that time, I think that it might not fall on a Thursday or a Monday, but maybe during that time, we could record some special episodes of either Quarantine Grilling or, if not one, but maybe the other, the Smokin Tabacco show, where we actually can do this side by side with each other, and then maybe have a guest on. Maybe we can tease our audience with some of the food that you cook. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
So during my visit, we'll definitely make sure it's planned around one of these times. And even if it's not, we can do we can do a live special at the time. So we'll figure it out one way or the other. But yeah, no, it'd be great to be able to do one or the other or both at the same time. So yeah, we'll at some point in time we'll be doing Quarantine Grilling under its new name from the Tobacco Estate and Smokin Tabacco. And maybe Matt will actually wear some of the swag that's available on the site, at the same time to maybe promote it a little bit. I don't know.
You mean my swag?
Yeah.
You trying to shame me about wearing my own swag? I know. There it is. SmokinTabacco.com/store. Telling you guys, check it out. Support a small business who's trying to grow right now.
Just lit up the Airbender Chisel Natural, and I'm going to take a sip of this Pinot and see where we're at on it. How's that late hour going for you?
It's fantastic, and it's pairing very well with my Pinot Grigio. I have to say that it's going very well.
So I drank a cab before this. It was a pretty full cab. Wasn't super dry, but Pinots are a lot lighter. So this is a really different mouthfeel going on here. So we got it's a little more fruit forward than the cab. The thing with cabs is you got there's a lot of cabs that are like fruit bombs, and then they end up being dry at the end. And there's
I would agree, yeah.
Yeah, and then like with the Pinots, there's a lot of when you smell it, it's not as much of a fruit bomb. It's a little more subtle, in my opinion. And then when you take a drink of it, and the finish on the palate is so much fruitier because it's less dry. It's more tannic. So this is a very, in comparison to what I was drinking before, this is a very tannic wine. A lot of moisture being created in my mouth. Little light cherry scent to it, berries, blueberry-ish, not strong but subtle. Some strawberries there, and not super dry, but yeah, really good. And so an Oregon Pinot Noir is very different from the Napa Valley Cab from Rutherford I was drinking earlier. So this is good. I'm going to limit myself to just 2 glasses of this, so I can try to sleep tonight. But yeah, it's good. It's a good pairing. You know, you were talking about pairing wines with cigars. So I think wine pairs awful with cigars. I love wine, and that's 99% of what I drink. But I think it pairs terrible with it. However, I will say the more acidic and more tannic wines tend to be a little bit better pairing. I would say something that's a little drier is not going to be as good. So this Pinot is pairing a lot nicer with my cigar. And I'm assuming the Pinot Grigio you're drinking too has probably got a little bit more acidic, a little more acid to it. So it's kind of breaking down the cigar.
A little bit, and you taste it with that cigar taste on the palate, and then you put the wine with it. It really brings out that acidic taste to the wine when you really mix the two together. This cigar is blending okay with the wine. I would say that actually, surprisingly, the Corojo paired better with it. I'm getting a much different mix on the palate with this cigar and the wine.
Well, the spice on Honduran and Nicaragua, those countries are right next to each other. So the spice that you get from Nicaraguan and Honduran tobacco tends to be on the front of your palate. When you smoke Dominican cigars, which the majority for the blend you're smoking now is Dominican, same with me, that spice tends to be on the finish. It's more of a mouthfeel.
Right.
So when you have something, when you were smoking something before, you were having more of a contrasting flavor profile with the wine you were drinking.
Right.
Where now you're having more of a comparative profile because you're getting those flavors on the finish. Same thing with me. So this is why for me this is a little bit better, because with the cab I was drinking, it was fruit forward and then it was dry finish, and the cigar was the opposite of that, was a contrasting profile. So I'm getting the exact opposite with this, where I'm almost getting kind of a comparison profile, because I'm getting sweetness on the finish here in that mouthfeel. Whereas the other, I was getting sweetness on the nose, and I was getting the sweetness on the finish from the cigar I was smoking, because I was smoking 2 Maduros before. So this for me is a little bit better pairing. But it's whenever you're pairing cigars with wine, you got to be very cognizant, because you can't change the cigar that much, but you got to be very cognizant of what you're pairing it with, and you got to be making the decisions that are right. And that for me is what's challenging. So like for me, the best pairing for cigars is always coffee, because it pairs great with everything. So it's like coffee always tastes freaking great with every cigar. There's other liquors, sweet liquors, like scotches, rum, different things. There's always, you pick one up, it's like, oh, this works so well. Wine is just so many differences and so many intricacies to it. Same thing with cigars, where if you don't pick the right wine, it's not going to pair right.
Oh, absolutely. One could argue that cigars and wine, even whiskeys, and other types of alcohol are very similar in that they all have distinctive notes and flavor profiles, and they pair well with other things. Whether you're talking about a good steak and a good red wine, a good cigar and a good cup of coffee, or a good cigar and a glass of wine, or a glass of whiskey, or a glass of whiskey and whatever. they have their own tasting notes individually, and then pairing with something else is also interesting too. And they're very interesting in that way, especially when you compare the two. But like you said, coffee pairs well with a lot of things, especially desserts. You ever had, like, I know it's kind of girly, but a close friend of mine made me one of those like espresso martinis one time. I enjoyed it. There's no shame. It was good. I had it with a piece of tiramisu, and I was happy as a clam. Yeah, that's one of the parts about what we do that I really like. In the cigar community, for those who are not cigar smokers or anything like that, it's, I feel like a lot of people, they look at us and like, wow, they're just smoking cigars. Cigars are gross. They're actually not that gross once you get to know them. And as weird as that might sound, but you can pair them with things, and it actually makes it more fun too. You actually get to experience many different flavors that you otherwise would really have no way of feeling. One of the things I do want to do, because I've been trying to get into this a little bit more, and that's retrohaling this cigar. I'm not a big retrohaler. Ooh, that's a strong retro. Whew, that one went right through my nose.
I'm not good at retrohaling because it makes me sneeze. It's just the way my sinuses and stuff work. So I don't get to retrohale that much, which is really one of the greatest ways to get all the flavors. And I wish I could do it more. I know that the second I do it, I'm going to sneeze, and that's going to ruin any of the flavors things I was getting.
Honestly, you're going to find this interesting. And you're going to know why once I say it. And people watching might not know why, but you're going to know why when I say it. I'm getting a very rich oak barrel. I'm getting an oak barrel. Post dumped oak barrel. You know what I mean by that.
I don't think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
So
I'm the chemist. I mean, we got chemistry. It's sometimes, if you put an extra O2 in there, it's H2O. If you go HO2, it's a different thing. I think we're the same chemicals, different makeup right now. What's going on?
I'm getting an oaky whiskey barrel on the retrohale. I'm getting a very of the late hour.
The late hour.
Late hour. So you know about late hour.
So what you're trying to say, like that, like Winston Churchill's, like that's what he drank at the end of the night, like.
No, I'm getting the.
Is this aged in oak barrels? It might be aged in oak barrels.
It is.
So like if it is, that's what you should be getting.
And that's what I'm getting. I figured you knew that, so that's why I'm like, oh, I'm getting oaky barrel.
You know what? It's funny. There are a lot of cigars that I smoke, because I do smoke the late hour regularly. I haven't had it for a while.
Amazing.
I don't know the make. I don't know the blend. I do not know the blend of that cigar, which is weird. Because cigars I smoke regularly, I do know.
Yeah, so it has an oak. It has the barrel age on it too, and I'm on that retrohale. I got a deep, like a spice of like an oak wood, and then I took another little taste of it in my nose, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely like a post dumped bourbon barrel, with the whiskey on it, the oak, the spice. That's what I'm getting right there. Yeah, it's amazing.
Speaking of post dump, not to be inappropriate, but like that's what I got from the soap experience. That was like a post dump clean hand.
Well, I mean, since you put it like that, that's kind of weird, but.
No, it's funny. You know what's funny? No, it's funny because I said I do smoke that Winston Churchill late hour. I probably had at least 15 of those, 15 or 20, maybe a box at least of that late hour, and I probably had about 20 or 30 total Winston Churchills last year, and I don't know the blends at all, which is weird because the stuff I smoke like that, that's a lot of cigars of something else. I mean, I smoke 2 or 3 cigars a day, and at least 2 of them are LFDs. Most of the time, it's only LFD, and I smoke other cigars during the week too.
So,
but I get 2 or 3 non-LFDs a week. So if I'm smoking that much of something, that's like 20 weeks of smoking that cigar. So it's very strange for me to not know that blend, and I think that's because I just like the cigar, and I don't want to. It interests me what the blends are, but when I like something, I just like it. Like I don't care what it is. There's people that say, "Oh, I don't like Sumatra, or I don't like this." And I was like, whoa, I'll give him a cigar. Like, oh, it's really good. Oh, that's Sumatra. And it's, I don't know where that comes from, but when I like something, I like it. And I don't like with the late hour for me, I just have no preconceived notions and I don't know much about it. I just know I smoke 20 or 30 of them a year and they're great.
Yeah, one of the I just actually looked it up. I thought it was bourbon barrel. I'm mistaken. It's a Scotch whiskey barrel. A Scotch single malt whiskey cask is what they're aged in. So I was close, but I was close. I picked up on that. But now knowing it was single malt whiskey, I definitely can see it more now. In terms of that taste that I got on the retrohale in the nose, I definitely got that oak. I got a whiskey. I could see the single malt whiskey. Yeah, I could totally. So spot on with the retrohale on this cigar. That flavor really came out, which I think is amazing. I enjoyed it. It was a little strong for me, in terms of like that burn that comes through on the retrohale. I mean, I don't retrohale a lot, so I have a little bit more of it than like someone who retrohales all the time. But I picked up on it right away. I was like, oh, there's that oak right there. It was clear as day. It's still a fantastic cigar. I'm not a big Davidoff smoker. For people who are watching, I'm not a big Davidoff smoker. Are they? I don't have anything against Davidoff. Are they good cigars? Sure, they have some good cigars, but I'm just not a Davidoff smoker. I feel like, I mean, I have some expensive cigars. Don't get me wrong. People don't read into this too far. I have some expensive cigars. I have a lot of Atabey Byron, like Opus X and stuff like that. It's not really a price thing for me because Davidoff is always pricey. I just feel like, for me, buying a Davidoff, I would rather buy a Byron instead. For what I'm paying for a Davidoff, I'd rather spend a few dollars more and buy a Byron.
I'm a huge Davidoff smoker, big Davidoff smoker. I'm LFD, Padron, Davidoff, Eiroa is honestly one of my favorite brands.
Oh, Eiroa, I love
anything Corojo. I'm a big Davidoff smoker, and I love the Byrons and Atabays too. I really do enjoy them. The Bandoleros are great. Byron's probably my favorite. I probably prefer that over the Atabay. The Atabay is great, but it's a little mild. But I'm a big Davidoff smoker because I started working directly with Davidoff as a salesperson in 2011, and I never really smoked Davidoff. And so I'd go to the shop, and they were like, hey, why don't you pick up a few cigars every time before you leave, just so you know what we sell and whatever, this and that. I was like, you guys don't have to do that. Or I really appreciate it. So they'd give me like 2 cigars every, it stopped several years back when the FDA said they couldn't give samples anymore.
Right.
But every time I go in, they'd let me try something different and something new. And for me, it was so, I'm passionate about Dominican tobacco. So for me, it was Dominican tobacco that tasted so different from the Dominican tobacco that I traditionally smoke every day with the tobacco that we grow at La Flor Dominicana and, Alito's produced, which is very full-bodied and very rich. So it was very different. So it was a tobacco grown in a similar climate, in the same climate, very close by, that was just performed so differently. So that's why I became a huge fan of Davidoff. And it said that's what I smoke a lot of. So it said for me, I'm a big fan of it. And it's, so I'm not looking at it by price or reason. Yeah, no, obviously I look at things at price. I don't, I'm not buying $40 cigars every day or $20 or $30 cigars every day. But when I look at that, I get, that's why Byron and Atabey for me is really good too, because I get the same cigar every time. It's a very high quality, and it is very different. Flavors are different too. They're very distinct. If you want that flavor profile that you get from a Byron and Atabey, that's the only place you can get it. If you want that flavor profile that you get from a Davidoff, you have to smoke Davidoff. Same thing with LFD, Padron, Eiroa. So that's really how I build my repertoire of cigars, is based off of that unique flavor profile that you get from. There's tons of great smokes out there, but for me, that's why I tend to smoke those brands, is because it's very unique to me, and and I was around it, and that was special to me. So, but no, I'm a big Davidoff smoker.
So
and, huge.
I wanted to give a quick shout out. We got Kevin from. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I had something. I had something in my mouth that was weird. We have Kevin from the Cigar Militia watching, as well as Kurt Kendall. Kurt Kendall's watching with us again.
Keck, he's on. He must be bored up at Lake Winnipesaukee, so he's tuning in to the Smokin Tabacco show. We got to bring him on as a guest.
I know, Kurt. Why don't you jump in with us? Come on, man.
We'll do a 724 show, and we'll hang out and smoke 724s. We'll get him going in the next couple of weeks. Yeah,
that's actually a good idea.
We'll get you on. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, we'll let's get you in here. You should reach out to one of us, and we'll schedule that and put that together. We got to have you on here. That's gonna be a good time. Also, I want to see you at Twin soon. I want to come in and smoke with you, and talk cigars and all that good stuff. So let me know. Now that everyone's kind of open again, I know Twins is up there. They are open inside. I don't think they have the bar open yet. They might now. I'm not sure.
I think they do. They are at partial capacity inside. One of the marquee and premier cigar bars in the country, very close and special to my heart. That's one of my one of the places I consider home. Fortunately, in New Hampshire, I've got a few places that I consider home, which is nice because I did live there for a while. So, but Kurt's place is obviously it's very special to me personally, and I had a lot of good experiences there too. So, Twin Smoke Show. So we'll have Kurt on sometime. Kurt would be great. We'll talk 724. It'd be an awesome time. I got a few 724s in my humidor. That was one of the boxes of cigars that I bought during the quarantine for my own smoking. So special, a lot of heritage, a lot of history behind that. And Kurt's a real history buff, so that'd be fun.
You know what 724 I love, and I'm not just saying this. I'm not a bullshitter. If I don't like something, I'll tell you. But honestly, one of the cigars I really do love is that 724 Lancero. I don't know what it is.
Dude, that 724 Lancero is ridiculous.
Dude, it's awesome.
It's over the top. It's over the top.
I gotta smoke it. I gotta. When I go up there, I gotta grab some of those. So, Kurt, if I do run into you, it's one of these points when I am in there. You gotta remind me to get some of those. I twist my arm, make me buy a box. I don't care. Those are fantastic. Late hours going a little quick.
Yeah, Davidoffs tend to be, this is not a negative term. There's this term called underfilled. When you say it, people are like, oh, underfilled. No, it's a technique of blending and bunching tobacco together to create a better draw. So when you smoke a Davidoff, it tends to be a little lighter. And it doesn't change bang for the buck for any, but it definitely changes the performance, and it tends to be a very smooth, very clean draw. I've never had a Davidoff that's plugged ever. They always just draw impeccable. They're some of the best draws in the industry. And it's because the way that they're bunched. And I said it, the only way to describe it is underfilled, and that's not a negative term. So if anybody's watching that, it's not negative. It's just a different technique, and it's a different way to perform. Because what you're doing, you're blending a cigar for flavor. You're blending it for flavor. So if the experience you want, the combustion rate is going to very much affect the flavor. You have the tobaccos that they use in that are a little lighter than some, than what LFD uses. You're going to have to blend that differently, and they're going to burn a little hotter, and they're going to burn a little quicker. So you get really good flavors out of some milder tobaccos and some thinner leaves. That's just a technique of blending, and it does really well for them. But they do smoke quick, especially us. Like, we're on a show here, we're puffing. I'm going through this airbender pretty quick too. And this is some thick, heavy tobaccos. But that's not a negative thing. So, some people are like, what a Davidoff forces you to do is to sit down and relax and enjoy the time with it. And if you rush through it, you're not going to have a crazy, it's going to smoke fast. But if you take your time, have some drinks, it's going to be really enjoyable. But I do have a funny story. They have this thing called the Short Pleasures Pack. It was these little cigars. They were all great. They had like a Millennium Blend. Their Oro line. It was called, I can't remember what it was. It was Oro. It was a gold band, like a whole gold band. It was Short Pleasures Pack. It was all small. I smoked through all 4 of them in the pack in like under an hour, because I just smoked them like a normal cigar. It was like big puff, and I was done in like an hour. And I'm like, man, this was definitely a short pleasure. But it was an awesome pack. But when you smoke something that burns a little quicker, just take your time with it a little bit more. Don't smoke it like you would some of these fuller-bodied cigars. because that's going to affect
Really
the
like,
performance, and it's that way by design.
especially like a Padron. Padrones will smoke very fast. Um, you know, I think I mentioned it before. I was talking about Padron. Padrones will smoke very quick. When I first got into cigars years ago, when I first, I was introduced to Padron, for the first time, I was told like, take it slow. And when I started smoking, I still kind of am, but it's not as bad as I used to be. When I was in the early stages of smoking, I was just so excited. I was like, smoking kind of quick, but I was more of a power smoker back then, not so much now, but I was told like, smoke it slow, like take it easy. You're going to get it too hot. You're going to char it, like let it burn, let it cool. Don't rush it. Cause Padrones are like that too. They will burn very quick. In fact, if I am in a hurry and I do want a good cigar, or like a good size, I will go to Padron, because Padron, I know like I can have a good size. I can smoke it quick. Yeah, I might get a little hot, but I can smoke it quick because it'll go quick. I don't have to, it has a nice loose draw to it. I won't go for something that's tight, that's going to burn really slow. If I want to rip like a good sized Toro, in or under an hour, I'm going
Yeah.
Padron.
By the way, another shout out too. We got Zach Everhart from West Side Humidor in Wichita, Kansas, out here too. Great shop out in Wichita. Zach, I got to call you on Monday. I got a shipment coming in. Time to get some cigars out there. But no, Zach, thanks for being in here. The reason I brought it up is Zach said the gold band one they had with Davidoff was called the Puro de Oro. It was a Dominican Puro, wrapper, binder, filler. Awesome smoke. Awesome smoke. Got discontinued, unfortunately. But man, it was probably the fullest body Davidoff out there. Awesome smoke. Pure Day, where I used to smoke the snot of those things. They were great.
I know someone else who makes an Oro. Someone else who makes an Oro, and it's super fucking strong. Some call it one of the strongest cigars I've ever smoked. I don't remember who makes that. Oh,
You know
man.
what? The
You would
Oro is
know.
one of my favorite cigars. The
No.
LFD Oro is one of my favorites, man. And I haven't had one for a while. I probably haven't had an Oro for at least 6 months. And it's a great smoke, and it's a combination of strong flavor profile and strong body at the same time. So you got a lot of full body and a lot of full flavor. So
Yeah.
it parades around even stronger than it really is. I don't think it's as strong as like our double Hero line in terms of body, but flavor profile, intense flavor profile, and full body. But double Hero is still stronger in my opinion than just the body, but the flavors, it's very thick, rich tobaccos. It's very smooth. So it
Right.
parades around a lot less strong in terms of body than what it is. But yeah, the Oro is a combination of strong flavor, full flavor, full body at the same time. So it does parade around a lot stronger than it is.
Yeah, I think I have one that you gave me. I mean that I bought from the store at full price.
Double price.
I paid double for it.
I think it was in. Did I send you one of the Tubo samplers?
No, you gave me an Oro when you were in the Cigar Authority a few weeks ago.
And it wasn't in a. But I gave you. I think I gave you one of the TAAs.
Oh,
The box press.
that's what you did.
Yeah. The box press. The Oro. The Oro they've been talking about on the show is the Oro Tubo.
Her brother has the sampler.
Yeah.
Nicole's brother. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember which. I know I sent you up a sampler. I just couldn't remember which one it was. But yeah, the TAA is fantastic. But that's not the TAA Oro is not as strong as the Oro Tubo. The Oro Tubo is just a lot of strength. The Oro Tubo is refined, but the TAA is very refined, and we use some different tobaccos in that. It's a very different blend. So it's I said it's a more refined cigar. The TAA the TAA 50th Oro Golden Anniversaries, very different cigar. I actually have. They're not out yet, and then who knows when they're going to come out. But I still have 4 of each left in my humidor downstairs of the test blends for the 2020 version, which are 6x58 box press chisels,
Right.
in that blend, which is over the top. But yeah, but they're strong smokes, man. They're full body. Trust me, all of them are full body.
I actually have a couple of. I have a couple of cigars. I mean, we're gonna when you do come down, we're gonna smoke a lot of cigars when you're here, but. There is a box of cigars. I think I've only had it's a I've only had one so far, but I have some cigars that me and you are going to smoke together. They're actually from LFD, and I think you know what they are. They're particularly long.
So we got some A's. We're gonna go through the A's. You know, another thing too, we're definitely gonna drink some champagne. So we're gonna have to go buy some good champagne. I mean, we're gonna when we get together, it's gonna be a celebration. Even if there's not a reason for it, we're going to celebrate. So there's a couple bottles of champagne I want to go 50-50 on with you, and we're gonna have a good time for sure.
Yeah, we have. I mean, I have all the allocated bourbon in my bourbon collection that we can pound one night, and then I have some good champagne in the house. I mean, I have some Dom Perignon.
Oh, beautiful.
Some Ace of Spades in the house. I don't know if we're gonna open the Ace of Spades, but
well, we can always we don't open it. We can go buy another bottle and just leave that one there and see what happens. And if we need to open it, we can open it. But by the way, there was one thing we talked about today. A family friend of mine, Bobby Wong at Kowloon. Tonight was their first night of the drive-in movies.
Oh, we're going.
We're Kowloon. That's another one's happening. Yeah, that was tonight. My dad sent Bobby a text and said, good luck with everything. I've been following all of this, and he texted back, thanks, Mike, appreciate it. And he told him that I was going to be coming down. So when we go down, I'll make sure that Bobby knows we're going. But if you're in Massachusetts, check out the Kowloon. Best Chinese. It's not even Chinese, man. It's everything. Asian fusion.
Polynesian.
You name it. Yeah, the best Polynesian, Asian, Chinese, Japanese. You name it. Incredible.
Best Chinese chicken in the world.
Outside of Saugus, incredible spot. The Kowloon, drive-in movies. We're going to definitely hit that up too. And we'll chronicle all of this. So when we do it, it'll be, we'll have it online. And we'll have media with it. So it'll be a good time. But yeah, there's so many good things that are going to happen.
You know what's going to happen is you're going to get here. And then I'm going to we're going to get you situated. And I'm going to be like, all right, me and you got to run to the liquor store because we have some shit to buy. You know it's happening too. And then we're going to get there and it's going to be like, what do we buy? I have a funny feeling we might do some damage.
Cappy's going to get handled.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, or even the Total Wine. There's a Total Wine.
There's a Total Wine. Yeah.
There is, yeah.
How far are you all from Burlington?
20, 25 minutes?
Yeah, because the Wegmans there is silly.
Oh, I know. Me and my bourbon friend, who shall remain nameless, we go there a lot.
Silly. The Wegmans in Burlington, I've been to a few Wegmans. That one in Burlington is over the top.
Their liquor section will give Total Wine a run for their money. It won't beat them, but it'll give them a run for their money.
That Wegmans has something like 3 executive chefs too. Like they're just the prepared food they have is incredible too. Obviously we're not going to do prepared food because I'm coming down. You can cook, I can cook. Your mom can cook. Everyone can cook. So we're not going to do prepared meals. But this Wegmans in Burlington is probably the nicest grocery store I've ever been in.
Oh yeah, I know. I think we might have to make a trip.
Yeah, Wagyu. They got dry age. They got everything, man. It's over the top.
We're gonna get some Wagyu. We're gonna get some champagne. We're gonna get good champagne too. Some real good. I can already tell. You brought it up, so I can already tell. You really want to do some good champagne, don't you?
Yeah, we're gonna do some damage. It's been a long time coming. We've been on quarantine. It's probably gonna be after my fireworks show up here. So I'm going to be in a celebratory mood, so it definitely needs to happen.
It might have to be the weekend after that.
Yeah, it could be. So I'm going to be. So here's my travel. I'm going down to Miami if all stays well the week of the 6th of July, and then I'm going to be down in Atlanta until the 14th of July. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm flying in and out of Portland, Maine. So I'm thinking I get back on the 14th or 15th. So I'm thinking when I get back, I come back down to instead of coming north, because at that point I'll be only about an hour and a half from where you guys are at. I'm 3 hours from home. So I think what I might do is that same week, just when I land back in Portland, just come back, go south instead of north. So yeah, sometime the week of the 13th, probably that week would be great. We'll have the Smokin Tabacco yearly corporate meeting.
Yeah, I have to have the corporate meeting. There'll be a dinner meeting as well. It'll be a fine dinner, invitation only.
Invitation only. Very, very limited guests. Very limited.
Very, very choice selection of beverage and food that'll be available, as well as cigars. Some stuff it doesn't exist, as I like to say. Stuff that just doesn't exist. That's what we like to say. No, we're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be the Smokin Tabacco weekend blowout that never happened. So actually, I was trying to plan a cigar party here at the tobacco estate, and as it's come to know, it's really not an estate. We just call it that because it began as a joke. I don't know how it happened. It began as a joke, and then all of a sudden it caught on, and now people just call it that. So
It's a nice
but no,
property, though. It's an estate.
I did plan on having some sort of cigar party here with a lot of cigar people that I know, industry, customer, and obviously the wrench got thrown out with the coronavirus. So me and you are going to have the cigar party that never was this year because
We're just going to have to do it on our own, and it's going to be fine, and we'll still drink the same amount as the group would, and it'll be awesome. By the way, I want to let you know I can dunk a basketball, and I plan on dunking on both hoops.
yeah, I mean, there's a basketball court over there. I'm going to challenge you to some
I'm
dunk.
aware of it. My buddy up here put a basketball court at his place, and I showed him your court, and I was like, man, I'm going to go down there, and I'm going to show him how to dunk. I'm going to show him how a 36-year-old, 260-pound man can still dunk a basketball. And you're going to be violently impressed.
Those are NBA hoops too. Like they're spring-loaded hoops and everything.
Oh yeah, I'm aware, dude. I'm a basketball guy. Where I've seen the basketball hoop picture was when you posted the picture of you sitting in the pool smoking an Andalusian bowl. Before I noticed the bowl, I was like, all right, that's a serious hoop. I'm all about that. That needs to be dunked on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm looking
That was
at
the crowning achievement of the coronavirus for me. Was 2.5, 3 weeks ago, my buddy finished his basketball court at his house. And I was fired up about it. We work out up there. He's got a great gym. And he was my basketball rival, I'd say, in high school. But he really wasn't my rival because we just, like, when we played each other, our teams played each other twice a year. He and I, he's like my brother, literally. He's my brother. So we fight like brothers. We love like brothers. Like, if we were to guard each other in high school basketball, we would have killed each other. Like, we would have gotten in fights on the court. So, like, our coaches got it, and that was maybe the only thing they got. They just like, oh, these two guys can't cover each other. It's just not going to happen. Like, there's no way. We're just too close, and it would have been a problem. But he's got the basketball court up there, and he's a retired football player as well. And so we got this hoop, and the first day he got it, we were like, he's like, you think you can still dunk? I was like, dude, I don't know. Like 2 years ago, I could, and I hadn't tried since then. And so we started going at it, and I could, and I still can. It was great. I was like, man, this is shocking. It was like biggest accomplishment of the coronavirus for me was that at 36 years old, 260 pounds, I could still dunk a basketball. And I'm like, yeah, I'm losing some weight. And I'm like, maybe, I'll lose a little bit more weight. Maybe I can put on a show here. But we get after it, man. And it's been a good time. And it's fun. And, if there's a hoop where I'm at, it's going to get dunked on.
Well, I'm going to hold you to it because, I mean, I haven't played basketball out there in some time just because, I don't know, I just haven't gotten to it. But when you're here, we're going to have to, like, let some shit out.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and I'll make sure that I'm prepped and ready to go. My knees are ready. My legs are ready. I'm stretched. I mean, if there's a hoop, it's going to get dunked on.
We'll make a video. We'll put it on the channel. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to video that whole weekend of just.
I mean, speaking of videos, I can play a video of me dunking right now. Let's pull it up.
Oh, okay. Let's see what John Carney can do on the hoops.
I mean, I got to scroll through here a little bit because we both got haircuts this week, so we sent pictures back and forth.
I feel like when you say you have a video loaded up, I feel like you've had it ready this whole time. You were waiting for the right moment to bring.
No, I mean, this was spur of the moment. If I had it ready, I wouldn't be waiting this long. All right,
awesome.
Here we go. It's loading. Another thing I need to do is get a new freaking computer.
Yeah, go get yourself a new laptop, will you? Jesus.
Yeah, hold up. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Still waiting.
You're gonna have to continue. There we go. Well, it's through messages, so hold up. I gotta make sure that I'm not sharing things I shouldn't be sharing here. There we go.
No one wants to see the LFD company email with sensitive information.
I'm on vacation, so I told everyone to stop emailing me, so we're in good shape.
Leave me
All
alone.
right, here we go. Yeah, well, my sidekick today, Amy Perez, great girl, great woman, great sidekick. Her title is assistant to the vice president of sales, but she is incredible, way more than that. She's awesome, so I don't ever call her my assistant. She's my sidekick. And she emailed me and said, she's like, "Hey, do you owe me an expense report?" I said, "I might, but I'm on vacation, so I'll talk to you next week."
There you go.
It was good. So here we go. So here's the video. We're gonna go dunking. We got sound ready to share, and we got dunking ready to share. So here we go. Can you see?
I can. Ooh.
All right, here we go. Great. We have I take ownership of Matt's place for some reason. That's we're family. So we got chalk here. Painting's gonna happen very soon, and it's gonna get done. We're gonna have that done. So here we go.
Oh, this is it. This is the one. Orso's watching. There it is, John!
All right,
Dang.
so that wasn't very good, but Orso is the German Shepherd puppy, one of my best friends. Here we go.
Oh, this is it. This is the one. Orso's watching. There it is, John! That's the one!
Honestly,
it's a little choppy, right?
Oh, this is it. This is the one. Orso's watching.
But at the same time,
there it is, John!
okay, it's choppy, but at the same time, it was barely a dunk. Okay, you kind of got like a little hop and you flopped it in. All right.
You're missing.
Oh, this is it. This is the
It
one.
wasn't choppy.
Orso's watching. There it is, John!
If it wasn't choppy, you'd see how high I was getting up.
We already played this 4 times, but I can already tell this is not a Michael Jordan jump.
It was definitely a Michael Jordan jump. If it wasn't choppy, you'd see how high I was getting.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'll have to see the real thing in person. I don't know if I want to.
I just wish it wasn't so choppy. Like, I don't know why it's that choppy. I think what I'm going to have to do is play it on my phone. Here we go. That's what I'll do. I'll play it on my phone.
You are really proud of this, aren't you?
How many 36-year-olds that are out of shape and smoke cigars and drink for a living, you know they can dunk a basketball net?
You're the only
one. That's right.
one. I mean, I know all of that who can barely dunk. His name's John Carney, but
here we go.
I think the jury's still out on that.
We're getting close here. We're going to be good. We're going to get dunk videos. All right, here we go. All right, so here's the picture. Because we're professionals when we do dunking pictures. You're telling me I was just barely over the top of the rim? Just barely?
All right, maybe in the picture. I mean, there's probably like 4 inches of wrist there. I mean,
at least.
Yeah. All right. It's not bad. I mean, I'll give it to you.
That's a dunk, man. That is a dunk.
All right. Yeah, you had a little bit of air there. You had a little bit of air.
All you need is a little bit of air, man. That's all you need.
I'll give it to you. But I still want to see it in person, though.
Oh, it'll happen. I'll just make sure it happens. I'll be wearing Smokin Tabacco hat, Smokin Tabacco shirt, and life will be good. And the dunk's going to happen, and everybody's going to be fine, and everybody's going to enjoy it, and they'll understand what happened to them.
I want to see you do it like kind of sober, because I know you won't be really sober the whole time you're here. I want to see you do it like kind of sober, but then I want to see you do it like actually like kind of drunk.
It's going to have to be one of the first things and one of the last things we do.
Yes.
Like a before and after.
Yeah, I want to see you do it like when you first get here, and then like we'll start drinking, and then like at 3 a.m, I'll be like, all right, now go over there and do it again. And be like,
how are you going to react if the elevation it increases with the level of alcohol I drink? Like, what would you like? How do you feel about that?
if it's better, all right. If it's better as the alcohol kind of takes over you, then I'll be shocked. But I'll also be pretty impressed. You know.
So the alcohol consumption actually helps me because it loosens the muscles. It's a muscle relaxer. It takes away some of the pain. So I may be able to jump a little better. The problem is the more I drink, the landing gets harder.
You might
The
stumble.
the lift off isn't a problem. It's not going to be an issue. The landing will be the challenge for the ladder.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited to see how this one plays out. I mean, so many outcomes that could come out of this.
It's going to be great. So there's all sorts of good things going on.
Also,
if
if you get hurt and you like snap your ankle or some shit like that, like I don't want to be held responsible.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You already have a nurse at the house.
I do.
So I mean, there's a nurse there, so I know that I'll be taken care of well, and I can hang out with your mother.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you do fall, because then you guys can sit in wheelchairs together.
Yeah, so it'd be awesome. And I know I'm at like a similar environment, so it's like if I get injured there, I can still hang out by the pool, smoke cigars. I can stay there. It just might extend my stay. You know, if I'm there for like a week or two until I recover, I'll be doing similar things that I'm doing up here. You know, people at least they think that's what I'm doing. I'm just hanging out by the pool all day, right? Not working my ass up, but I could do that down there. So I mean, if I get injured, it's a win-win. It's a win-win situation for everybody. It's a great situation. There'll be lots of dunking.
This is true. I mean, how are you? I mean, we have the basketball court, but we have a good amount of grass. I mean, as the wine continues to take over me, I start to brainstorm.
What are we going to play rugby on the grass?
No, but how's your pigskin game? Play a little football?
Oh, ridiculous!
I don't know. I might have to throw the skin around, man.
I mean, I'm down for that. If you're ready to catch a football that's thrown with the strength of Brett Favre, I got a freaking cannon.
Settle down, Brett Favre. Come on.
So one of the coolest things for me was, this is the last time I threw a ball because I hurt myself doing it. It's probably 4 or 5 years ago. My buddy's a retired football player now, but he was still actively playing at the time. He needed somebody to go throw some balls and do routes with him. Yeah. So we went to the University of Maine off season, and he's like, "Hey, I'm excited to have you come and throw a ball." And he's like, you understand the game a little bit and what we're doing. I mean, obviously I'm not an NFL player, but I played football growing up.
Right.
And I can throw a ball quite well. So I was like, yeah, it'd be awesome. So like we went and did so he ran like 40 routes, tight end routes. So every single one, I was like, in my head, I'm like freaking Tom Brady, dude. After about 20 throws, my arm right here, from here to here, was just on fire. Fire. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I kept throwing them, and I was throwing seeds, man. It was great balls. There was one I threw to him, and he's like, "Hey, dude," he's like, "I'm not wearing a helmet." He's like, "So like please don't throw it until I turn around." He's like, "If I was wearing a helmet, you could throw it before I turn around, because if it hits me in the face, it's fine." He's like, "But if you hit me in the face," he goes, "you're throwing it hard enough." He's like, "If you hit me in the face," he's like, it's not gonna be a good thing. So I was like, "Oh, all right, cool." So I was like treating it serious. So we were running different routes, dig routes, flags, different stuff, fades, everything, you name it, some short routes. And, he was teaching me at the same time, which was kind of cool. So, dude, we got done. My arm hurt for literally 3.5 months after that. We threw like 20 warm-up passes, and I maybe threw 40 regular passes. And I was just in severe pain. I have not thrown a football since then. So I'm down for doing it, but I definitely got some damage that's not going away in this arm.
Well, if you can't play football, then we'll have to do basketball and maybe some wiffle ball.
By the way, I'm a wiffle ball champion.
Oh, are you now?
A Hall of Famer, actually.
What Hall of Fame? The Lincoln, Maine Hall of Fame?
Yeah. You know what? I have a plaque. I have a wiffle ball championship, which is something that this year was canceled, but it's fun for you to come up to if you want to be part of it. We actually have a wiffle ball tournament every year. It's been going on for like 25 years. And it started as the Snack Shack wiffle ball tournament, which was my family's restaurant. We were the sponsor of it. Jason Clay and Mark McCafferty are the founders of the tournament. And they continue. It's the Lincoln Homecoming wiffle ball tournament. And my friend Matt and I, and my friend Anthony, and my friend Aaron, who's the wood butcher, and my friend Cody Bean, we were all champions. We won a championship together, and they started a Hall of Fame, and we were retired as Hall of Famers. And we do have plans to win one more tournament. And fortunately, Matt's been breeding heavily the last several years, so he's breeding replacements for us. Because we always talk, like, we can go out and play our best at least for a couple games. And Matt's a crazy pitcher. He can throw a football like 80 miles an hour. It's ridiculous.
Hey, John, I have a song for you.
Yeah. Play it.
You can be a pastor, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you will find yourself.
You can be standing in the wiffle
You can be standing in the wiffle ball Hall of Fame. So it's funny. So when I came back home, dude, I'm up in my old room, and I spend time here quite a bit of time, but not this much. I'm digging around in my drawers at my my bureau, and there's these two certificates there in frames from the wiffle ball championship in like 2000. I think it must have been like 2002. 4 or 5. So I'm like, they're in pristine condition. They've been there since like 2004.
Dawn of time.
Yeah, so I keep telling my buddy Matt, I'm like, man, I got to bring this up. And he's like, hey, we got to win this thing one more time. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'm down. I was like, but we just got to have people, because you get to win it. You got to win like 10 games. And I'm like, I got 10 games swinging a bat. I do not have 10 games in the field, because when I'm in the field, I'm going to treat it like I'm friggin' 20 years old again. And I'll react to it. I'm going to dive at balls. I'm still fast. I will rip a hamstring apart to catch a freaking wiffle ball. So it's like, I got maybe 4 games in me, 5. I go, so we got to get to a point where we get to these championship games, and then we're all playing at that time rather than, worrying about it or whatever. So we got like a plan for this thing. But yeah, the wiffle ball thing, I got wiffle ball bats downstairs. It's crazy. I mean, you know what? Since we're talking about it, I guess I can try to find let me pull up the Lincoln wiffle ball.
I will be on your wiffle ball team if that's what you're asking me.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to come up, we'll see. But I mean, when we go for the victory, when we go for the actual one championship, until we make that decision, it's going to be, when we make the decision to play to win it, it's going to be the original team and the whole deal. And we might add a kid or two when they get old enough to play. But so yeah, let me pull up here the Lincoln wiffle ball tournament. It's kind of cool. It was canceled this year because of COVID. Of course, everything was.
Yeah.
So here's the Lincoln wiffle ball page. I didn't play last year. I played the year before. But they really get after it. It's a great tournament. Great time, tons of fun. And but yeah, we're retired Hall of Fame players, and
what was your wiffle ball team name?
They're called the Chosen Ones is the name of our team. The championship team was the Chosen Ones. And I don't know if they got any pictures of us on here. This is probably from the last couple of years, so I'd have to go way back to find pictures of us. But yeah, we were the Chosen Ones. And there was one year, as a joke, we were Team Steroids. We were all jacked. So we had Superman shirts and called ourselves Team Steroids. We ended up finishing second that year. We got a little bit ahead of we peaked a little too early. But yeah, it's a really fun thing in our town. And this is original. This is an original picture here. This is from the 6th annual Snack Shack wiffle ball tournament. That was my family's business, Snack Shack. So that was kind of a fun thing that we did. But yeah, wiffle ball's awesome. But no, we'll throw the pigskin around, play wiffle ball, basketball, all sorts of activities.
I'm getting like hyped up now that we're talking about like we're planning out like what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting like hyped up because I'm like, oh, like we're really in for a treat.
I mean, I got bat. I have like custom wiffle ball bats in my basement.
Oh yeah, would you fill them up with foam?
Now I got tape jobs. They all got names and stuff too. I got one bat's name's El Diablo. I got the Gator bat. We got Black Thunder.
Black Thunder. That sounds interesting.
I got a pair of cleats I bought, like a $200 pair of Nike Air Zoom cleats. that I bought just for the wiffle ball tournament. I wear them just for the tournaments. I wear them like literally once a year. Super comfortable. They were nicer than the
You even
cleats I
have
wore on.
wiffle ball.
Yeah, I got wiffle ball cleats, jerseys, you name it. We got it going on. The last tournament I played in was probably 2 years ago. We were Team America. There's a couple friends of mine, Peter Fortine, Donnie Russell, and pisses me off. I can't remember the other kid's name, and I've known him my entire life. If he's watching, I'm sorry. I know him well. But that was the last time we played was Team America. The year before that, we were Team La Flor Dominicana, which was kind of fun. So we smoked cigars and hung out and had a good time. So our team's kind of separated up as but we're going to come back together and we're going to win one more time as the chosen ones and come out of retirement.
Be like a Hall of Fame game.
Mm-hmm. Only we're going to win it. It's not like we actually are going to win it, and it'll be fine. But we got to make it happen sometime in the next 5 years. We got to get it done before we're 40.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So I guess the first yawn of the night. So that means I guess we got to try to wrap this up, right? I mean, we got enough footage for a show.
Shit.
We got enough footage for a show, and that's a good thing. And that's good. So we got good
what
things.
We do here.
We did a whole show.
So it's what we do here at the Smokin Tabacco Show. We just smoke and shoot the shit. Now you look all confused. Oh yeah, one of the things you definitely need to work on is you got to get yourself a new MacBook.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually. All right, hold up. Let me get the music queued up here.
Make sure you're ready for the closing.
But yeah, so Quarantine Grilling, June 29th on Monday. It's the final show of Quarantine Grilling, and we'll be transitioning to a different name. And we have a contest going on for the renaming contest, but that will be announced on Monday, June 29th. Next week on Smokin Tabacco, we are honored to have Christian Eiroa, Eiroa, and Jim Price of CLE Cigars. This will be a really fun week next week, man. I'm really looking forward to having to pick up some Eiroas myself, but that'll be fun to have them there. That'll be our 4th of July episode. But yeah, so a lot of good stuff coming this week. So good show this week. We got a lot of extra time in the overtime, and it was exciting.
Yeah, no, it was a good show. I kind of let the wine get to me a little bit over here. So I kind of got all over the place, but I'm feeling good. Tomorrow's Friday. That's the weekend. Next weekend, holiday weekend. Excited. Big show next week.
Big show.
Another Smokin Tabacco giveaway coming out. Hopefully it's going to be this weekend. It should be this weekend. I don't think something dramatic happens, but I don't think it will. So check that out. Stay tuned for that. Keep an eye out on the social media platforms. Also, head to smokintabacco.com/store. You can check out all the wonderful swag that John's wearing. I normally wear, but I didn't have time to kind of change out of what I'm currently wearing. So head over there, get the hats and the shirts. I have a new shirt design coming out in the next few weeks. Really appreciate it. Support a small business. We're trying to grow, trying to get big over here at Smokin Tabacco. So, everybody who orders something, we really appreciate it. And, other than that, I got nothing else to say. So
we had some wine. We had some cigars today. It was a good time. So we'll do it again next week. Christian Eiroa is going to be a great time. Looking forward to having him on. And we'll see y'all next Thursday. Like I said, I ain't fucking leaving. So here we go. Next Thursday. Smokin Tabacco.
Adios.
Oh, Quarantine Grilling.
Oh, come on now.
Oops. Yeah, wrong. Man, I get so confused. I get so confused. I don't know how to get away from it.
You have a lot of pages you control. You control an LFD page. You control Quarantine Grilling. You got Smokin Tabacco access.
Yeah, I'm really been practicing that. It's called diversification. I'm really spread now, which has been fun. So yeah, I got a lot of things going on. So, but yeah, here we are live, Smokin Tabacco, and we end the show. So thank you for watching. Alexander Nakaranda, super epic.
Hello